Good morning, guys. This is me, Rusty78609, Central Texas, USA. It is 9, oh, scratch that, cut 8:46 a.m. Central Standard Time. It is about 45 degrees outside with a little wind, not too much. A little too cool for me to go walking right now, so I'm going to do video. This is Thursday, December the 22nd, 2016, and I am in Central Texas, USA at my home base. I have full-time RV and also go camping in a car. If you're interested in either one of those, check out my playlist on my home page. Having said all that, with my introduction, notice my luxurious studios. I've spent a lot of money on these. Nothing. I use my LG G Stylo smartphone to do the videos, and sometimes I actually plug in another light, but this morning I didn't because we had enough, apparently. But anyway, the topic for today, and it won't be exhaustive, but it will be a start. Let's take a look at comparing and contrasting the Elio three-wheel, three-cylinder gasoline vehicle with the Sondor, Sondor, three-wheel electric car. How are we going to do that? Well, first we'll start off with Elio, and here's a comment from somebody that apparently has been in the business, and he talks about Paul Elio was an automotive engineer before starting Elio. I did not know that. I thought he was a taxi cab driver. Shows how much I know. You should listen to him sometime. He has made numerous presentations, blah, blah, blah. He is not a BS artist, but rather more of a nerd. Everything he says and has done appears credible to me. I've been involved in a number of new product developments at 3 large companies. They were all completed behind schedule, but were ultimately remembered as being successful. It says $100 million to engineer a new car and set it up for mass production is not much. It would cost GM 10 times that much. The same delays occurred at Tesla, but Elon Musk is widely regarded as a wonderkind. He really is a genius. There's no doubt about that. Then it talks about how many military weapon systems have been on time and within budget. Very few. He mentions that the Sondor bicycles were made in Asia, and I think they are. There's some problems with that because people can't get the warranties done or warranty things taken care of. And it says if the Sondor meets the NHTSA passenger car crash standards, it will be of interest. And it says that is what I worry about more with Elio than the financing. In other words, he's more concerned about Elio getting through the crash test than the money. And that's a good point because those tests are rigorous, and they got to get through them because you can't run a car on the U.S. highway without it. And so anyway, we know what issues, or we know some of the issues that Elio's facing. The car is neat. It is gasoline, and you can get gasoline anywhere, and it's got a range of about, well, if it gets 70 miles to the gallon, I think it's got an 8-gallon tank, you're still looking at over 500-mile range, which is pretty damn good. And with comparing that to the Sondor electric car, the three-wheel electric car. Now, the Elio is also going to initially be priced at $7,300, and then you can add options as you choose. And the warranty will be honored at Pep Boy stores across the United States. Pep, P-E-P, Pep Boys. And but anyway, so they've got a good plan. They just haven't produced anything yet. So the Elio is a three-wheel, $7,300. Says 80 plus miles to the gallon. Again, it's a three-wheel vehicle, and the price is okay. 7,300, three wheels, all three-cylinder gasoline engine, and unfortunately, they haven't produced any yet, and they've been working at this for about 6 or 7 years. Then we go to compare that with the Sondor. Now the Elio has, you can put two people in it. Okay, it's got a front seat and a back seat, and they're in line. You know what I mean? They're not side by side; they're in line. And the Sondor is going to have two seats in the front and one seat in the back. Now the Sondor is the all electric, and it's going to start off at $10,000. It's going to have three wheels, front wheel drive. The Elio is three wheels, front wheel drive. And the range on the electric car, the Sondor, is going to be 50, 100, or 200, depending on which package you buy, and the price will go up accordingly. And of course, it's got some cute little colors, and it's going to be very simple, very similar to the Elio. I mean, the dash is basic, and the Sondor basically blank, and you use an app on your smartphone to monitor all the stuff. And apparently, there's not much stuff to monitor. So, having said all that, guys, the way the Sondor is trying to get going with money is they're going to do crowdfunding, and then that's kind of a title of, I don't know, it's a SEC regulated thing, I think, and it's right now there you can buy shares in the Sondor for $12 a share. You have to buy 10 minimum, so you got $120 investment, and their goal is to raise $1 million. Right now they've raised 783,000. They got 1,200 investors or crowdfunders, I guess you'd say, and the only real difference between the two companies, as I can see it, they may both be total scams. I'm not going to say they are, but they could be. And then it's possible that they're totally legitimate. I hope they are. And but for Sondor, the plus is he did or has and is producing an electric bicycle, even though it's a bicycle. It uses lithium ion batteries, and it has to have a drivetrain, it has to be able to recharge and all that stuff. So he's got some technical expertise in producing an electric quote vehicle, even though it's a bicycle. And so he's got a little bit of a track record. I think he's sold like 17,000 of the Sondor e-bikes, electric bicycles, and they have a range of about 20 miles, depending on a lot of factors, but somewhere in that range. And so, that's a kind of a commuter for people that live in areas where you could ride a bicycle. You could get by with the e-bike, but the downside of the Sondor, in my opinion, for me, the price is okay. The car looks great. I like the fact that you can put two people in the front seat and all that kind of stuff. And but the real downside for me is the range. 50-mile range in Central Texas, USA, is not worth poop. 100 miles, that'll get you. That'll get you around for 2 days maybe. The 200-mile range, yeah, that's close. But actually, I would love to see these guys in these electric vehicles get something that is a real 300 miles or more, okay, or more. And the reason is it's too far but beyond between charging points in Texas. We don't have that many. Now, you people in California and other states, you may have a lot of charging stations. We don't. So, as when you look at comparing the Elio gasoline three-cylinder vehicle with the Condor all-electric three-wheel vehicle, range is definitely a big plus for Elio. There's a small plus for the price of the Elio. As far as the design and the looks of the vehicle, I think they both are very neat. So I give them a push on that. I mean, I'd say as far as the outside appearance, they are both equally eye appealing, and I would be satisfied with either one as far as appearance. And as far as maintenance, the Condor probably has a little bit more of a plus because electric cars don't require very much maintenance at all, and the batteries last a hell of a long time. I know I've got a Toyota Prius, which is a hybrid, and it has lithium batteries, and they're good for, nobody knows, but speculation is around 300,000 miles. So that's good. Now the Elio uh, has unfortunately no real track record of producing anything, and that is a negative. They have a factory in Louisiana and other, and I think in Detroit or Michigan somewhere, and they've only, as far as I know, I've been told and read, they've only produced 5 cars, and they're trying to produce some more apparently for uh, crash testing and safety testing, and haven't done it yet. The problem right now that Elio, now see, Elio is having some real financial difficulties as we speak. And again, this is December the 22nd, 2016. They filed I don't know what it's called, what form it is, with the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, in September this year. And in that, the management includes what's called a forward-looking statements. And in that SEC filing, their forward-looking statement pointed out that they were going, unless they receive some very large financing in the near future, their chances of continuing as an ongoing business were not good. So that's a downside. Will either one of these cars ever be produced in mass quantities and sold in the USA, across the USA? It's a dream. That's all I can tell you. Everybody, these guys are entrepreneurs. That's how they make a living. And if they succeed, great. If they don't succeed, then they'll just go right on to something else. And the people that put the money in will go right on to something else too, figuring out what happened to their money. But anyway, so you guys that are interested in these 3-wheel electric cars or 3-wheel gas cars, Elio and Sondor, stay up with them, because they may make it. I'm not negative. Of course, Sondor is not publicly traded. It's not a stock, even though you're buying stock. It's a closely held corporation. In other words, that stock is not traded on the New York or the Nasdaq stock exchanges, and that's on Sondor. Sondor has not had a public stock issue at this point. They do that, as a you don't have to be a publicly traded corporation to issue stock. Any corporation, Class C or C corporation, can issue stock, and that's how corporations get started. They issue stock to shareholders. The shareholders get a piece of paper, and the corporation gets the cash to start building. In this case, say the Sondor, and if it works, then the stock value goes up. And that $12 a share stock might be worth $100 a share. If you're lucky, it could happen. I'm not going to say it's not. Now, Elio has stock that is traded on the Nasdaq, or I don't know, the pink sheets or whatever it's called. And the trading symbol is ELIO. And the stock opened at around 11 or 12, in that range here a year or so ago. Hadn't been that long, a year and a half maybe. And it popped up real quick. Went up to around $75, and then it quickly came right back down. And right now it's trading around 14 to 16, in that range. And that's, to me, that's what I would call a classic pump and dump. And what that means is, in an IPO, an initial public offering, what you do as shareholders, the people that got in on what they call the front end, because they will give stock or issue stock to people prior to the IPO, and then when the initial public offering is started, then the stock value goes up, because people have been waiting for it. Guys like me, retail customers, we jump in and buy it, which, as people buy, the price goes up, up, up. And what these people are doing, if it's a pump and dump, is they're selling into that. Okay, they're selling into that euphoria, and taking a hell of a profit all the way up. And then when it starts to turn down, well, they're out, and the other guys ended up holding a bag of air, because there's some people out there right now that are holding that stock at above $50 a share, and right now it's about 15, and their chances of getting 50 out of it are pretty slim. But having said all that, for those of you that are going to invest either in Elio or Sondor, I would tell you to look at it like this. It's a high risk investment. It's like rolling the dice, okay, or flipping a coin. Either it'll work or it won't. So the money you invest in either one of these, just be sure that it's what I call mad money. It's just money that you can afford to lose. Now, not many people can afford to lose a lot of money. I can't. But, if you just want to take a flyer, put the money in, turn your head and hope it works, then that's okay. But if it's something that you're going to put the money in and because you need to make the gain, you know what I mean? If you lose it, you'll feel it. Don't do it. You'll regret it. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Okay. But anyway, you guys, for the Sondor lovers and the Elio lovers, God loves a dreamer. Maybe these things will work out, and maybe they won't. Anyway, having said all that, guys, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye, 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 USA, made when you can. Okay? Drink plenty of water, take deep breaths, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, stretch, and walk for exercise, and think positive. The good times are coming. Christmas is coming soon. And that's the end of this video. So anyway, I really hope Saunders makes it, and I'd like to see them both make it. I really would. I would love to have people out there driving $10,000 electric cars and $7,000 to $8,000 three-cylinder gasoline cars and enjoying the hell out of their life. But we'll see. Anyway, bye guys. Adios.